Welcome to the Athlete Insights podcast with host Paul G.
Greetings, everybody. Thank you for joining me once again. Today, I have a very, very special guest, possibly one of my favorite athletes that I enjoy watching, plays for an amazing team. It's Devan Craig. Thanks for joining us.
Cheers, Eric. Thanks for having me, mate.
So I won't take too much of your time today, but already, you guys are starting to build an amazing team, an amazing win last weekend. And, I want to touch back to what inspired you to pursue basketball in the first place.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think for me, I played a lot of sports growing up, but I jumped into basketball pretty young, probably I think 9 or 10. But I think what just inspired me to keep going through with it, and the reason I've chose it over other sports, probably just from my, kind of from the persuasion from Dad.
Who has
just knowing what he was able to do
Yes.
at the Slammers and win all the championships. I think it was three or four. I think just how much he loves the game and how much he's shown and done with it was kind of always intrigued me to pick basketball and continue on with it.
Obviously, with your father being, such a prominent figure in basketball in the Southwest, you would have been quite involved in the community from a young age. So you would have been absolutely immersed in it.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, he's always had something to do with something, like assistant coaching with the Slammers, which he's back doing now.
The Aces.
But even when he wasn't, we were at every home game. Even your local A grades and stuff, we always used to be down there Friday nights.
Is that the Aces?
And then, so we used to be associated with Aces, and he still is now.
Fantastic.
Yeah, but yeah, just all the sorts of basketball.
So you've pretty much been eating, sleeping, and breathing and living basketball from a very young age. I love to hear that, and also the fact that you have seen the impact that your father's had as well. That's a great thing to see, and I admire how that's inspired you to continue your own passion. Now, while you've had a bunch of highs, I'm sure you've had some lows throughout your career. How do you sort of get through those tough times in your career?
Look, I think I've learned as I've been older. A big thing for me is just having a really good support group.
Yes.
And that doesn't necessarily mean having a million people you can talk to. I've probably got a support group of 4 or 5 people that I can really trust and I can go to at any time and know that I'm not always going to hear what I want to hear. You're going to get told how it is and how they see it. And I think just having a little support group like that's a big thing of definitely being able to enjoy your highs, but definitely help you through your bad times and those lows.
I love that you mentioned that you may not always hear something that you're going to like. And that's a very good point that you've raised, that in your support network, you don't always want a bunch of yes people. You want people that are going to tell you the truth and the honesty, which does help in the lot. Thank you for sharing that. Now, I also want to move on to what are some of the positive habits and routines that have helped contribute to your success?
I think for me, and I mean, it's very cliche and a lot of people talk about it a lot, but I think just putting in as much work as possible always does its due diligence,
Yes. So always give it 200%.
Down shooting every day, make sure that every workout counts. You're not there, going through the motions. You gotta be in there, get your reps done, or make it super game. Like for me, those are some habits that I like to.
I love that you touched on that.
Take into account.
I love that you touched on that. Make the time that you have count. So it's really about being present and giving it 200%. They're 2 very, very good tips. Now, I'm jumping off script here, but I also want to just ask, because you're providing young listeners with some great advice here. What role have coaches and mentors played in your development as an athlete?
I think coaches and that get definitely overlooked at times. They have such a big role in your development and your improvement in the game. I've been real lucky. I've already mentioned him, but with Dad, he's always just had a drive for wanting to make me better and really helping me push to get better. But I've also had some other really good mentors like like Chalky down here, Jason
Yes.
Chalk, the women's coach at the moment, and even having guys like Mark Worthington coaching
wow.
us back when we first started with our slammers. There's just so many people. It's actually hard to name them all right now, but they're a
Can I
big
touch
thing,
back
and it's nothing wrong with having mentors. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. I want to touch on Aussie prospects. Did that have an impact on your development, do you think?
That's another one, Ash McCormick.
Yep.
Shout out to him. Yeah, it's definitely helped with my development. It's just a whole different style of basketball when you go away and you do their
The tournaments.
you know, their invitational tournaments. And I mean, shame we couldn't go away with COVID for my age group, but it's a definitely different style of basketball, which kind of prepares you for the college and American route, if that's the route you're trying to take. So they do a very good job at exposing you to different environments and
even
sort of thing,
I think it even prepares you for certain levels of NBL 1 here.
100%, yeah.
Very fast style of play. You've got to have your head in a swivel. Yeah. It's not non-stop, but it is. You're not always going to get the ref to have the call and have that discussion with them and try and change the call. No, the game's got to continue. So we're not going to take too much more time, but we're going to finish up with one or two questions here. Can you share one or two of your favorite memories or highlights from your career so far? I know you're still so young and you've been playing for a while, but what are one or two of your favorite highlights?
Yeah, that's hard as well. I'd have to say probably making my first state team for under 16s. That was a big thing for me. I thought that was really cool. So top age 16s, that was, yeah.
Was that
that's
2016 or 2017?
Oh, I'm gonna say 2016, but that could be wrong. Yeah. I could get fact checked on that. But yeah, that's definitely one for me. That was kind of like just the next levelness of like, okay, like this is something that I really want to do here, and this is a big accomplishment. You know, something that I want to make sure I keep pursuing.
Yes.
And then I'd reckon probably the first first NBL 1 contract I signed to for the Slammers. I think that's another big one too. Was the West Coast Classic that year.
Was that with Terrell Carter in the team?
That was the year after.
That was the year after. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so you weren't signed to the Slammers when you were playing then?
For the West Coast Classic?
The year prior, the SBL.
No, I wasn't signed. We a lot of us just decided to play our first year at 18s. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic! But then the West Coast Classic, you were signed, and yeah, that was a great. I'm so glad we had that.
Yeah, it was really good. I think, especially for us young guys, it was a great way to expose ourselves to the next level, and also not having the imports and that, it kind of just gave more opportunity to go out and just play these. You know, older guys that have been around the SBL league for years and whatnot. I think it helped a lot with all of our development.
Well, it also showcased a lot of young talent, which is what we saw. So I'm going to finish up with one quick question now. And you've got some news. I don't know if it's been broken. If we can, it's an exclusive. You've got a new role with basketball in the Southwest area. Are you able to talk about that?
Yeah, I can. So I've taken on a bit of a role for junior development over at Bunbury Basketball Association. So it hasn't gone with much right now. We're just running a winter academy at the moment, just for you know, your non-wobble kids from 10 to 15-ish. And yeah, it's kind of just trying to work on all their development and keep their skills up and about, and hopefully try to help them for once we get to our
domestic.
Well, what's the word? The domestic, yep. But then also when we go away for our Bunbury Bears and stuff, for our for country champs and our regionals. Yeah. Just getting them ready for that rep.
And so how many athletes do you work with? And are you looking for more athletes to join?
Yeah, so I think we've got, it's a bit over 50 right now.
Fantastic.
But we're always looking to get more kids in. Our regos are always open. So if you were or at any stage looking to join, it's just on the Bunbury Bears Facebook page, and there'll be a link there for the Winter Academy. But yeah.
And of course, you get to train with elite athletes like yourself. I mean, that's if the age group, if it didn't have a limit, I'd come down and sign up. What an amazing opportunity. Wow. And I mean, we already seen the huge amount of talent. It must be something in the water down there, because you guys consistently pump out some big names. Like, I was speaking to Taya Burrows the other day. There's Raya Thompson, Brody England. I was filming. I mean, so many athletes out of that area. What is it about that area?
Man, I really don't know.
You're not about to give the secret up.
We definitely go to this, something different in the water, and that's usually the go-to. But I think it's just there's a lot of opportunity down here to play, and a lot of opportunity to evolve through, your wobbles, but also your country champs, your regional comps and stuff. I think that's got definitely a bit to play in that.
I may have to add that
nothing.
I've noticed that there is a mental toughness that does come with athletes from that area. And I don't know if it's because you guys have to do longer, you're traveling 4 or 5 hours to a game in the city. You don't necessarily have all the resources that the city kids have with all the amazing courts we have. So, I mean, for me, I see a mental toughness and it really shows on the court. And you can always tell when it's a country player, because they're tough. They're tough. But listen, thank you so much for your time, Devan. I won't take too much more of it, but I want to wish you all the best for the rest of the season. I mean, the Slammers, they have nothing to lose, everything to gain. And I mean, we saw from last week's result that they can absolutely devastate a team. So congratulations to you all the best this weekend. And once again, thanks for your time.
No, thank you, mate. Appreciate you for having me on.
You've just listened to the Athlete Insights podcast.